Yeah, now, stand and cheer for your Talking Basketball podcast. Welcome back to this episode. This is the second part of a doubleheader. If you haven't heard the first, go back and listen to it. If you can't be bothered, that's all right. Just keep listening to this one, and hopefully you enjoy it. And don't forget, like and subscribe. I hate it when people say that.
Phoenix versus
The Cheshire.
Now, look, we've got to talk about it straight away. That kit is horrendous. That Cheshire kit is absolutely horrendous. It does. I
thought you were going to say about we got to talk about it. I was talking about that weird foul at the end, but gone.
Yeah, that was pretty odd. But that was
it's all right. The kit's
Atwood, wasn't it?
It's
The
all
free
right.
throws.
But you got to talk about again Cheshire's ability to bring in players in the off season.
Yeah,
they lost a couple of players, and let's face it,
big players.
They lost two of the best players in the league.
Yeah,
and they're still competing and beating the best teams in the league, as this fixture saw. So it's really interesting, and you got to give credit to those guys who are bringing these players in, because
however they're finding them, they're doing a great job. They're definitely
maybe the
doing a
coach
great job.
as well. Maybe the coach as well.
Because I mean, look, I said it last week. Skylar White physically is looking great. He's really, I don't know what it is.
He's looking great.
He is. Like genuinely, I think in the off season he's done definitely some physical work. It looks like he's not just leaned out, but he still has that agility. I mean, there's a great block. I mean, I even put the time down. Remember it. Q3, 3 minutes 18, I think, left on the clock. Goes in for it, and it's like no chance. Get that block straight out of it.
He's consistent.
There were some massive shots,
consistent.
Some absolutely huge shots that were thrown in. That at one point the Eagles were up. I won't ruin it if people are going to watch the game, but
they're not going to watch it if they listen to this, Mark. Just ruin it.
Well,
ruin it for them.
They were just, when you see a team and you think, oh, the Eagles have got this, and they had a cushion, and it'd be like an 8-point cushion.
19? Was it 19? They're up by 20?
Yeah,
maybe? I can't remember.
And they had this cushion. And then there was two shots. The first one, I think, was, I want to say it was Cam. That wasn't Cam Christon. Who was it? Oh, it was TJ Atwood. And then follow up from him, it was Skylar White. It was like one 3-pointer, bang. Another 3-pointer, bang. And you go, oh, bang. They're suddenly back into it. And they just came out of nowhere. Oh, it was Atwood with a huge three. And then White with a huge, right towards the end. And suddenly you go, there's a 6-point swing. Now they're only two, and now they're level. Oh, hang on a minute! Now they've gone ahead, and you think,
the two
that
Camerons
swing was just.
The two Camerons are working really well together. TJ Atwood obviously as well, but yeah, those two guys just. Well, I guess the trio of those three were I thought the difference between Phoenix and the Eagles in this game.
And Micah Corey, you've got to mention him for the Eagles. He was solid in the last few games, and. They sort of just, the two Cams, TJ, they just sort of outgunned him. They kind of kept him out of where he wanted to be. But
Dejan as well, he played well. And look, they were winning the game until the fourth quarter.
I'm going to say it now.
Say it.
Atwood, foul at the end. Exactly what you were talking about. He got the free throws. Made sure they went in.
Yeah, there you go.
And you go, you're up. It was 98, 88, 82. Got the free throws. I'm putting them in. Didn't need to. I'm putting them in. And they were like, give me the ball. Give me the ball. Done.
Yeah.
That's how you need to do it in that crunch time, especially when you think, we've seen a couple of games where you think, the free throws, people have bricked them and choked and all sorts. That's how you do it. Yeah. So the Phoenix doing that killed the Eagles' momentum. They were 4-zip. Going into that game.
And I think that frustration showed a little bit in the dire moments of the game.
Yes.
So I actually wrote this down, which was DeJohn Allen Akins and Jordan Spencer.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So right at the end of the game, it was, So DeJohn was inbounding the ball.
Yes.
Jordan Spencer kind of just went to the left of the court. So DeJohn's right. And it looked like he was in a position to get it. But DeJohn passed somewhere to the left. Skylar White stole it, missed a layup. And someone else at Phoenix got the ball and put it up to get another 2 points. So when you look at that score line, it's like, well, they probably gifted that too with that turnover at the end.
Yeah.
But what was really interesting was Jordan Spencer's reaction to that. So I don't know if you picked up on this. Hey, I saw it. I love this. And this is what the commentators should grab hold of and just go, wow, there's emotion there. So Jordan Spencer and DeJohn kind of square up to each other.
Oh, yeah.
The
At
court.
the very end. Yes.
Off the court. No, I don't think there's any malice there or any. That's just players frustrated in the heat of the moment.
I remember that because I rewound it. And what I liked was that the camera was there. There was things.
It went off quite quick, but
people were walking in front and stuff like that, and the camera was still there. And then when it came back, it dissipated.
Yeah.
But the cameraman was
one of them was still looking. But it was interesting that a couple.
Kudos to you, whoever that cameraman or well, I think they're all cameramen now. Man or lady doesn't matter. But it's whoever that was, they know. Follow that action. The action doesn't necessarily mean it's on the ball.
I'd like to have it stayed on it a little bit longer, personally.
I think
obviously whoever's in charge of the booth,
bam,
they're shaking hands. Let's do that. It's recognizing. Here's a moment here. There's a moment here, and some of the older guys in the team, you could see, kind of stepped in and went, "Come on, chill out,
no need for
chill
that.
out."
Yeah,
but like I said, I don't think there's anything malice there. It just highlights how important that game was for them to win. Hang on a second.
So here's a question then.
Sorry, I had to cough there, but it was important for them to win. And then you saw that frustration when they'd lost.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, man, you wouldn't pass me the ball. Why don't you pass me the ball? Or whatever that was. But that is what is great about basketball.
So looking at that now, if you've got all of those teams playing, what are your thoughts at them? Because a lot of people have been confused. We've talked about it before. We'll go through it again at some point about there's a trophy, there's a championship, there's a cup, and then obviously you have the playoffs at the end. This is all the trophy at the moment. This is not part of the league. The league hasn't started yet. League starts in November. This is all the trophy at the moment. But I kind of like it because it's given everyone a taster for these are all the teams and this is everything that's going on.
Some of the rivalries are starting as well.
Yeah.
Some of the players to look out for.
We have to remember a lot of these teams, we've gone back to zero. There's teams that have been gutted. We've lost a lot of players in the league who rightly didn't know where they were going to play and they want to play professional basketball, and they're good players. So they got snapped up elsewhere. So,
these are important games. These are important games as well, because what is great about the SLB trophy, I'm going to say it, they are leading the way in how a cup competition should be run.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe even how a league competition should be run if you take this in the same breath. So if you've got two teams tied, it is whoever goes above the other one is decided on how they performed against each other.
Yes.
Point-wise,
yes,
stuff like that.
Definitely.
And they should be doing that across the country in all the different leagues and competitions, because when you have a league or a competition that is decided on how badly you beat or lose, whatever you want to call it, the team at the bottom, that says to me that's a poor competition. And that's what I really love about what the SLB have done with the trophy. They're making these games against the top teams matter, because it will be the difference between qualification and not qualifying in that competition.
Yep. Yeah, it makes a huge difference, and I think it's
And look how close this is.
Yeah.
Look how close it is, and
So
that's
this is my only gripe. This is my only gripe at the moment.
so Cheshire lose this. Oh no, sorry.
It's top 2 teams from each.
Cheshire win a game.
Yep.
That the top of the table will get decided
Yeah.
between Newcastle and Cheshire taking on each other.
Yeah.
That's why those two teams playing each other is so
Yeah.
important. That's why that turnover at the end of that game is so important.
So I'll try and share that
If
with
it-
everyone so they can kind of see. So this is my only gripe at the moment. If you go on the website at the moment, you cannot see. I've just chopped that together. You cannot see a table where it shows you what was going on. And they did have something up there. Then
Say that again.
It changed. On the website at one point, they had a
Oh.
table where you could see.
It is on
these
there
are the
now.
standings.
It is on there. I saw it today. It's on there.
Yeah, but I think that whether they update it and it comes off or anything, I don't know. So the problem that you go is when you go in to look at the trophy, it keeps going to the next week, and you have to click either all or the
you
league
have to
that
go
you want
back.
to see,
Yeah.
and then you only are separated by north and south. So that bit needs to be just tidied a little bit. Because what you want to see really on here, like you can see on this, I mean, we're looking at it, I'll put it up for this, everyone can see. If you can see here at the moment, you've got Newcastle and Cheshire who are at the top at the moment, mainly because of the points differences. If we're looking at really on these sort of point difference here, isn't it? That's what's really
Don't
separating
forget,
Cheshire.
people are listening to this who can't
Yep.
see that.
No, I understand it. So Newcastle and Cheshire, they're the top 2 teams at the moment. In the north, in the south, the trophy, it's Leicester and Bristol who are the top 2 teams. Both with 4 points and both on 3 games played, both won twice. So
Round 4 is huge.
round 4 is huge.
Huge. But can you see what I mean?
Oh, yeah,
That's
yeah,
why point
100%.
difference is so important.
Yeah, it's going
Now-
to play a huge thing.
If Cheshire, say, lose and Sheffield go above them
Yeah.
by 1 point.
Yeah.
Oh no, that's a bad example because Newcastle would then have to be in that position.
Yeah,
that's a bad
exactly.
example. But you see what I'm saying?
Oh yeah,
You see what I'm
100%.
saying?
It's a really, really good opportunity for everything going on.
Sharks Gladiators, that overtime loss.
Yeah.
Those free throws missed or whatever.
Yeah.
Those free throws may be the difference between getting into
Oh, yeah.
the qualifying and not qualifying.
Yep.
That's a better example.
And
I
that's if you like look at that game, you think just it's one isolated game, but because if you think it's a trophy, it is a cup kind of competition essentially. It's a just different form of cup competition. So, but obviously the cup, they've done something differently, and they've got people from the NBL coming in, haven't they? So
Yeah.
that's again,
We've
it's
done
like,
that.
that's going to be
Did that
brilliant.
last week, Mark?
Well, I know, but what I'm saying is it's the trophy is its own cup,
Yeah.
effectively, isn't it?
It's
its own thing.
It's I'd say a Premier League Cup is how I'd.
Yeah.
So you got to earn your spot in the cup, bit like the in-season tournament, a bit like that, I
Yes.
guess.
Yeah,
But then the actual cup is the romantic cup, is how I'm going to call it now.
Yeah.
Is a romantic cup because you've got teams like Falkirk Fury who can come in and
Oh yeah,
and
totally.
win it.
And also, shout out to Falkirk Fury and the other teams there. If you want to reach out to us, we'd love to get any of you on to talk about what you're thinking going into these games, because it's going to be quite exciting.
Yeah.
Just to see some Div 1s going up there.
There we go. We done.
We have done with the SLB for this week.
Yeah, you
Cool.
wanted to make it a half an hour episode. We're an hour in.
Yeah, most of that's you moaning about
Well,
refs and
she was talking about the game started and there was a
yeah, we'll see.
wash
We'll go back and we'll see.
of sound that went round the arena. It's because you're talking like that.
Yeah, okay. So, NBA news obviously hasn't started yet. The NBA is kicking
I know,
off next
Mark.
week.
He's actually annoyed. Oh dear. Come on, let's
NBA's kicking off next week.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like the 22nd. So, 15th, you're going away next week. And the NBA kicks off. So we've had some preseason games. The biggest thing, I think, which is hilarious, is Joel Embiid hasn't played one preseason game. And they've ruled him out for starting at the moment because he's got a knee problem. And what's brilliant is that they just signed him on that massive Supermax contract. It was like 192 million or something for 3 years.
How did he do in the playoffs last season?
They were
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like,
Right.
why have you signed him? And now he's not playing. And then what was funny is then Paul George I think he hyperextended his knee.
Yeah, didn't look nice.
No, and he was like, no, it's fine, it'll be okay. But you go, hang on a minute, there's 2 people out with knee injuries, and the only other person they've got kicking around is flipping Ben Simmons. And you go, uh-oh, that's never good. So I'm not sure what they're going to do with that. But yeah, the other one that I've loved in the NBA this week.
Can I just say, just for our listeners,
Yeah.
we do have this big TV to our right hand side
Yeah,
now.
well, it's the big it's the big telly.
Oh, can they see what we're looking at?
Well, they can see what we're looking at right here. Well, if they want to, these are our notes that we put up and stuff.
Yeah.
And everything.
So that's why
But,
we're looking
that's
we're
why we
looking
look
in
that
this
way
direction
rather than
because
that
we've got a TV, so we know kind of where we're going with the show. Yeah.
Well, it always helps, doesn't it?
Yeah, I thought I'd just say that. Anyway, yeah, go on.
But did you see DiVincenzo talking from when obviously he got traded from the Knicks? He got traded from the Knicks to the Timberwolves, and then they met in a preseason game, and he was talking so much rubbish to the coach. And the best bit was, I think he shouted something like, "This is what happens when you let him make decisions," like talking about the coach. And then they got and then they got a little bit chirpy towards the end. They were all like, "Yeah," because he's salty. He's not happy by the fact that he's been traded. So he's there saying, "Yeah, this coach, this is what happens, and you trade up. This is what you get," because the Timberwolves killed him. It's just really funny.
Wow.
So that's what you get if you make. That's what you get for trades. That's what you get for making decisions. So,
Wow.
wow. And he doesn't like Thibs. And Thibs, who's the New York Knicks coach, is not it's not everyone's favorite. I think a lot of people find him a challenging coach. So that's quite amusing that he's like openly shouting that and just doing it like he's there on the bench and he's standing there with the ball mid-game shouting at him and stuff.
Best way to make your point on the court.
Damn right. Yeah.
In the words of the great man Isaiah Thomas, the numbers never lie.
No. I mean, look, speaking of the great men, the main thing this week was the hoop hall, wasn't it?
What a little transition I did for you there, Mark.
That was nice, wasn't it? It's almost like we thought about it.
we didn't.
No, we didn't at all. But I had to look up the class of 2024 because for those who don't know, the Naismith, the Hoop Hall of Fame, I guess you'd call it. This year's enshrinement, one of my favourite players of all time, Vince Carter. Just, yeah, absolutely, rightfully, not only going into the Hall of Fame, but also got announced by the Raptors. They're going to put his jersey into the rafters.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and they said they can. And
how many years did he play for them? Was it like...
It wasn't low. It wasn't as many as people
loads.
think it was. No, it's like 4 or 5, maybe a bit more.
Do you know what I love
but
about...
then New Jersey have done the same thing. They said that they're
that's
going to
cool.
do. And
He played in New Jersey for a while, though, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. Well, I saw him in New Jersey when he did the dunk over Alonzo. That was like, I saw that. So it was like, that was a cool. You remember that one? You remember the whole dunk he did? It was like absolutely savage.
You got to say, arguably, one of the greatest dunkers of all time.
Oh, without even a shadow of doubt, is this dunk right here. Kicks it out to him on the side, and then they go, "Oh yeah," and it stopped like he was in air.
Are you sure you weren't looking at your phone when that happened?
I promise you that moment there when he goes up and he goes like that, we were sat all on the other end of the court, and I had my Vince Carter top on, and we were sat next to some guys, and we were in Miami at the time, so obviously it was a very spirited crowd. When he went up for that dunk on Alonzo, he literally went up.
Wow. Spirited in fourth quarter.
No, they were spirited throughout. Honestly, it was cool.
Every time I've been in Miami, first quarter, the whistle goes and they all walk out.
Well, what I loved was, we've said it before about the game, but they were giving us a little bit of lip, but in a nice way. And then if you see in that dunk there, I've got this playing over and over and over, and people can still see it as we're talking. But the way he pulls it back as though he's going to go for a dunk, and then he just went, "Oh, actually, I could hammer that," and he just pulls it back, and you think, who has enough time in the air to go up for a dunk and go, oh, actually, I'm gonna like put it right back, and it literally look, bang, pulls it back, and he just hung in the air, and everyone in the crowd. This guy who was Hispanic turns to me. He was like, "Man, your boy got us." He's like, "He got us good," and he was giving me a high five and stuff, and I loved it because you go. He was clearly. I mean, they all had Miami kits on and stuff. Had Dwayne Wade and everything on there. Everyone was there for Miami, and they're like, "Yeah, you got to respect that. That was was filth, absolute filth, no question."
You got to talk about his dunk in the Olympics as well. That guy was what 7'2", was he?
Yeah, it's like possibly one of the best dunks ever. Surely,
I think you got to look at the slam dunk competition ones as well. Some of the ones he did there, I mean, they were just memorable, weren't they? He was the first person to dunk through his legs.
The Vince Scott.
Was he the first person to do a dunk competition through the legs? I'm sure he was.
Yeah, he was. Yeah. Although, I mean, Isaiah Ryder did something similar one year, believe it or not. But we won't go there. Here we go.
I like the reaction of KD afterwards. It's like,
yeah. And this angle that he does of him, boom. And do you know what? That guy who he dunked on is famously really salty about this. He really is not happy that this is like, look at that.
Yeah.
So there's a great clip from the States when they're doing the commentary, and everyone's heard it because the guy said he goes right over top of him, and it just like you said, Garnett is just absolutely stoked for him. So he's got into the hoop hall, which is awesome.
One of the things that I really like, really nice bit of class, I think, from the NBA was when he had his jacket and he opens his jacket up. He's got all the different logos of all the different teams that he played on during his career. That looked really nice as well.
Nick Nurse did that.
Oh.
He did that.
Oh, okay.
He did that for, when did he do that? I think he did that the year the Raptors won. I think he did that the year he did the Raptors one. He had that stitch on the inside. It's a nice little touch, isn't it? So in the hoop hall, not only did we have obviously him, we had Chauncey Billups, who people may or may not know. Certainly you should know from Chicago in 2004, winning a championship ring. But what I loved was that when he gave his speech.
Sorry, Chicago?
Detroit Pistons.
Detroit Pistons, yeah.
Sorry, my bad. He was up there with Ben Wallace, and I was like, "That's big Ben Wallace." Like,
yeah,
Ben Wallace has got
there.
Big, long, grey, pointy beard and his like grey throat. And I was like,
Malice in Palace.
Yeah. But I'm looking at it like, that's Big Ben. Wow, like he looks different. It's like, you know, when you see Bautista and like now he's lost a load of weight and slimmed up, and I won't say looks like a normal guy. They're still big guys, but it's like, oh yeah, okay. So obviously Chauncey was MVP in that NBA Finals that Detroit won. He was the MVP, but I love the fact the first thing he said, appreciate you took a chance on me when no one else did in the league, which I thought was really, really nice. And that was to one of the all famous Joe Dumas.
Oh,
because he said to Joe, big Joe T, he's like, thank you for Joe D rather. No, thank you for believing in me at that point in his career when he's like other people weren't sure and they were passing on me, and you go, then he became the MVP.
It's
and he ran the
interesting
team.
how that torch.
I love that. Yeah, I loved that. I thought that was really, really nice. And obviously Vince Carter had like Tracy McGrady put him in, so you go, I mean, yeah, why would you not? And one, I mean, you've got Charles Smith, Bo Ryan, and Walter Davis, who are all great people. One of them was main coach for the, I want to say it was one of the colleges. Two of them were college players. But Michael Cooper.
Legend.
Yeah.
Showtime.
Yeah. 5 rings with Showtime. And people are like, oh, Michael Cooper. And you go, yeah, Magic Johnson
Defensive Player of the Year, wasn't he?
Yeah.
A few times, wasn't he?
Yep.
I know he was definitely.
Yes, he was. It was. There. I put it up there just so I remembered.
Okay.
Along with Kareem and Magic, was a member of the 5.
80, 82, 85. So if you haven't listened to it, you're a disgrace.
You are a
listen
disgrace.
to our Showtime Laker episode.
Yeah.
Where we talk all about the Showtime Lakers and
But that's so cool.
Michael Cooper.
But, you know, and in the same breath, there were people who went in there, one of which I said to you before, Jerry West.
Legend.
And it was, and he went back in there, and it's to do with contribution. I think it's like he went in based on the contribution to basketball, goes in something to do with that. But obviously, Jerry's no longer with us. So that's pretty cool as well. But, I mean, how awesome is that? And of course, you got like the pictures there of the people like Jordan's there. And everyone's, you know, all the big names go to these sort of things. You're like,
Top people in the world.
yeah, that's pretty cool.
You're standing with the King of Kings. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So that was, I mean, you know, that was the big NBA news really that came out this year.
I've got even bigger news, Mark.
Uh-oh.
Bigger news. It's
Bigger
going
than
to
that.
affect every single player in the NBA. New rule just coming in by the NBA. Players are now banned from using their mobile phones during games.
Yeah,
Who is using their mobile phone during a game?
Mr. LBJ.
Really?
Yeah, there's loads of
Oh,
pictures
is that
of him.
what it's about?
There's loads of people they do it all the time. They'll be there like posting like clips and stuff when they're on their thing. So they're like, no,
But look,
before and after, before and then once the like media stuff is done after.
yeah, but that's why you got like, just get someone else to do it if it's for media and all that as a player and all that jazz. And also, if it's an emergency, like, give it to one of the coaches and just say, look, if a phone call comes in, let me know.
Yeah.
I just think that's really weird. I can't make a phone call during a game. It's like, what? And you know what? Do you know what really made me laugh with a certain post? I love reading through the comments. And people were just saying very similar things to what I'm saying now. Who's making phone calls? Who's doing? Why aren't they playing the game and stuff like that? And then one person comes in and went, LeBron's better than Jordan. It's like,
Oh, God.
all right.
Oh, they
Makes
come
me
out of
laugh.
everywhere, don't they?
Yeah.
They come out of everywhere.
LeBron is the GOAT. No, that's what it said. LeBron is the GOAT.
Oh, there's the goat. She's got to be the goat. No one cares.
Right.
No one cares. Yeah, so ends another edition, I think it's fair to say. Thank you so much for listening and joining us. Next week, we'll come back with another edition of the Talking Basketball podcast. But until then, if you want to talk to us, get on the socials, get on Instagram or ukbasketball@gmail.com. I have been Mark.
I have been Paul. Hello. And goodbye.
And goodbye.
And good night.